Hey guys, how's it going? Craig here with Craig Dacey Financial Coaching. And today we're going to be diving into EveryDollar and looking at how to budget if you're paid weekly. So if you get a paycheck every Friday and we're working on a monthly budget, what can you do? And how can you use EveryDollar to separate those weekly paychecks out so that you can track what's coming out of what check? Now, before we dive in, I do want to invite you guys to join a free Facebook group. It's an EveryDollar support group. So if you're using EveryDollar to budget monthly, you have to jump into this Facebook group. I'm going to put the link in the details below. So jump in there. That we're there to support each other, answer questions that people have, and just celebrate as we all are on the same financial journey, working the same budgeting software together. So jump in there. You won't regret it. There's a lot of great conversations going on. Now we're turning into EveryDollar here, and I have a mock budget up right now, and this is my mock weekly budget. So you'll see for my June income, I have 4 paychecks here, and we're just going to say that this person gets paid $1,000 a week on every paycheck. Now, what I did over here is I created some new categories, and they're titled Paycheck 1, Paycheck 2, and Paycheck 3. And the way I did that, I'm going to show you by creating Paycheck 4, is if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's an option to add a new budget category. And when I do that, it's going to populate it right here. And I can change the title, so I'm going to title this one Paycheck 4. And then what I can do is if I don't want it all the way down here at the bottom, I'm going to click Reorder Groups. And it lets me drag this baby all the way up to the top because I like them together. Save my changes. And then up here you can see nice and pretty I have all 4 paychecks right here. Now the reason I did this is because I'm going to budget out what expenses are going to come out of every paycheck. So when I look at Paycheck 1, I can see, okay, so what do I want to pay for? Now, I'm going to have to tweak this one because you'll see over here on the right, it's going to show me how much I've spent of this paycheck. So right here, it's showing that I've spent $1,600 already. Well, I'm only getting paid $1,000, so I can't do that. So I have to go back through here and maybe the cell phone I don't pay for out of the first check. So I'm going to delete that. Maybe the electric bill is not due until later in the month. So I can delete that. But I can go through and say, okay, let's see. Groceries. I'm going to spend $100 a week on groceries. So $100 out of this check will go towards my groceries. Gas. I fill up maybe once a week, twice a week. So $50 a week on gas is great. So I can kind of figure out how much I want to spend each week out of that paycheck and really categorize it that way. Now, for big expenses, like let's say your mortgage is $1,000 every month. Well, it doesn't make sense for you to get paid on Friday and pay $1,000 on that mortgage and then that's all you get to spend your money on, does it? So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and if the mortgage is due in the middle of the month, well then maybe this check I only need to set aside $500 of it for the mortgage. And then that way I just set it aside, and then out of Paycheck 2, maybe there's mortgage 2 right there, and there's the other $500. So maybe I split it up amongst the first 2 paychecks. $500 of this check is going to go toward the mortgage, and $500 of the other check will go toward the mortgage. Okay, and then now you'll see I have $650, so I have about $350 left for my first paycheck. Well, I'm going to need some restaurant money. Now, a good way to calculate how much you'll need, so if you're brand new at budgeting, you haven't done it before, how do you know how much money you're going to need for these categories? Well, a great way to calculate that is to say, okay, in a given month, what am I going to spend? And then divide that by 4, and that's how much you're going to want to spend per week. So you're thinking, okay, if my budget is $200 a month for restaurants, well, divide that by 4, and that's $50. You can also just ask yourself, in a typical week, how much do I eat out? How much do I actually go out? And how much does that cost me? So you decide. I'm going to say this person was $200 a month, so $50 a week for restaurants. They have $300 left, so on and so on. You decide what you want to do. Now, if you scroll through EveryDollar, it's going to give you some ideas, some things that you could put in. What I would do is, like you notice mortgage down here, I put it into the first 2 paychecks. So if I want to, after I've finished, I can delete these extra groups so that all that shows up are my first 4 paychecks. I'm not going to because this account, I want these still here, but you can just delete them, and then that way all you have are the 4 paychecks sitting there. And of course, don't forget your debt payments. So if you owe debts, know when those payments are due, and you can put them in here. Now, if you run into the problem of you have too many bills coming out of one check, it's what I recommend doing is just call some people and ask if you can move your payment dates. A lot of times it's super simple. Call your cell phone provider and just say, hey, I have a lot of bills due at the beginning of the month. Is it possible for me to move it to the third week of the month? They're usually more than happy to oblige. So try that out. If everything's landing at one time and it's causing a headache, make some phone calls. The ones that are a pain, call them and just ask them if you can just shift your due date. Usually, like I said, they're happy to oblige. All right, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments box below, guys. I'm here to help you as much as possible. And please jump in that Facebook group with us. I think you'll find a lot of value in it, and I would love to connect with you guys there. All right, I will see you in the next video.